So I have this job site table saw, and I got this great big sled. It's been good, it's been useful. Sometimes it's too big to cut small parts. So today I'm going to build a small parts sled. So I've glued on a couple of runners. So this is going to serve as a small part sled, but it's also going to have a dual purpose. I'm going to move over here, and on this side we'll have an angle cut. So I'll cut this bevel at 45 degrees, so you'll always have that over here to cut off the edge. So with that, let me show you what we're going to do. So this is going to be my fence on the back. I'm actually going to cut it in half to have two sections, so it'll be extra thick here. And we'll have this as a stop block in the back. I'll glue up these two pieces to be able to make my front brace for there.
So I take my big sled back out, put on the stop block for the back, saw those two pieces in half. In the front brace, cut those two pieces so they're double thick, and then I glue them up. Glue up the back piece and then the front piece and let them dry, and we go from there. Now just a little trim, quick run through the table saw to knock off the glue and get both edges nice and smooth and even enough where it'll stand up and be flat.
So here's my sled. I'm going to screw this in the back. That'll be my bridge in the back to hold the pieces together. I'm going to put a front fence. So I'll glue these two guys together for that. And this will be the blade protector here. Again, this will be skewed to the right because we're going to end up cutting this with a 45-degree angle.
So now I'm going to take my sled and just run a 2-inch cut into it. That way I know where to put the bridge on the back side and I can have it centered. We attempt to get the back brace nice and centered. It's not as critical because nothing goes up against it. So we drill a pilot hole, we countersink the screws, we all get it all screwed up, and then we got back brace ready to go. Now we're going to wax it. Waxing the runners and waxing the table saw helps it slide nice and smooth.
Before I mount my block and my blade guard, I'm going to go ahead and make a cut through here. And so I'll raise this up and I'll cut it all the way up to here, but not all the way through. That's the approximate location where this is going to go. So with that, let's make a cut.
So now I'm going to cut the full cut all the way up to the front of the board, but not through the board, where the front wall push block is going to be, and I'll stop right there, and then I'll work on centering it. So to center it, basically I take my square, line it up parallel to my teeth of my table saw, along parallel to the cut, and screw in the front block.
Okay, now let's try it out for fit. It goes in there like that, it slides up. Okay, so before we put in our block for our safety feature, I have 2 screws in here, and I'm going to do a 5-cut method to make sure that this thing is square, and then if it needs adjusting, I'll come back and adjust that.
So this is the 5-cut method to make sure that your fence is square. I'm not going to go into any elaborate because there's plenty of videos out there explaining this.
It's more precise in that fashion. 151.8. 151.7. That's pretty good. All right, Now to incorporate the second feature in this, and that is to make a 45-degree cut. So I'm going to move my saw to 45-degree bevel.
So the left-hand side of this sled is going to be a 45-degree cut. So I can cut 45-degree miters for small box parts. And it's helpful to have this already set at the edge to where you know it's nice and easy to be able to access every time without having to cut the center of your sled.
Now we're going to glue on our bottom to our jig. Be the first on your block to build your small parts cross-cut sled, or if you live in my neighborhood, be the second. There we go, a small parts cross-cut jig with the option, second feature, 45-degree bevel cuts. So if you liked our quick video on building a small parts jig, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our builds or jigs, consider subscribing down below. And as usual, come back and see me real soon.